Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the June 5th, 2019 meeting of the Thousand Oaks Council on Aging. My name is Karen Gorbach, and would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May we have roll call, please?
Please say here present when I call your name. Chair Gorbach.
Here.
Vice Chair Allen.
Present.
Commissioner Stephen Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Belding.
Here.
Commissioner Burt.
Here.
Commissioner Gitt.
Present.
Commissioner Maria.
Here.
Commissioner Mortimer is absent, and Commissioner Posta.
Here.
The last meeting of the year, I had to make one mistake.
That's okay. Thank you very much, Francine. Number 4 on our agenda is public comments. I have no public comment card, so seeing none, we will go on to number 5 on the agenda, the liaison and agency reports. I'm going to ask Commissioner Posta to lead us with these, please.
To 7 p.m. You can pick up tickets at the Global Center. Only $10 for hot dogs, hamburgers, salad, baked beans, dessert, plus dancing to live music. Photo booth, much, much more. Such a deal. Please come. I know there are lots of Dodger fans out there. Dodger Blue. Come to the Global on Sunday, June 30th at 12 o'clock noon. To view the Dodgers-Rockies game, good seats are still available. Tickets are a bit lower than at the Dodger Stadium. They're only $7. For not plain dogs, not Costco dogs, but Dodger dogs. Plus popcorn, peanuts, drinks, and much more. On any of the hot days this summer is coming. It started, I guess, today or yesterday. Why not cool off at the water exercise program at the Newberry Park High School? That's on Mondays and Wednesdays, and at the Thousand Oaks High School pool. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can drop in anytime you want to for exercise and cooling off. That's just a sampling of the programs at the Global. You know, I just picked up a Global Gazette. I hope you people can stop by and get one. In fact, you could get on their mailing list, and it'll come to you on email every month. This thing's got 15 pages here of things to do at the Global. I told you it's too numerous to mention. I'm going to mention a few more that Michael Kraft sent me a list of things coming up this summer. Just consider all of this. The Summer Ice Cream Shindig. It'll be held on Wednesday, July 31st at 3:30. Tickets go on sale beginning the 26th. Time Travels Through the American West Show, performed by Romancing the West, will be on Sunday, June 30th. Tickets are selling fast, and they usually sell out, so get over there as soon as you can. The Senior of the Year 2019 Dinner and Award Ceremony will be returning to Global on Thursday, June 13th, 2019 at 5:30. We're going to have Nancy talk about that today. We're very lucky to have her here. She'll tell you a little bit about it and why you should come and listen to her and see her at the Global Center. Please also save the date for the first ever Global Health and Beauty Fashion Show, which will be on Sunday, July 14th from 2 to 5. You put that down, will you? Because I know you like those fashion shows. And save the date. Let me see, where is it? Save the date for the 4th of July. You could come to the Borchardt Center softball fields for the annual 50-plus 4th of July Home Run Derby. Information's in this Global Gazette on all of these items. Summer's coming. There's loads of things to do. Pick it up. Come by. If you can't find anything in there that satisfies you, believe me, you're not trying. That's it.
Thank you. And we have a report from Julie Spivak.
Thank you so much. CSVP has some great new volunteer opportunities with our partner agencies. The Road to Recovery is an American Cancer Society program. It is a curbside transportation service that provides free rides to cancer patients to and from their cancer-related treatments. Trained volunteer drivers donate their time and vehicles to help patients get to the treatments they need. We also have the American Red Cross. They are looking for a blood donor ambassador. These are volunteers to assist staff at local blood drives. The registration volunteer welcomes and thanks each arriving donor and works with the appointment schedule. Refreshment recovery volunteer welcomes donors after they have donated blood by hosting the refreshment table and offering snacks and beverages. Most blood drives are 6 hours long, and they would like the ability to work at least one blood drive per month. These are two. We have a ton of new ones with our partner agencies that, daily. So if you're interested in volunteering, make sure to call the CSVP office at 805-381-2742. We also are really excited to bring back Charity Karaoke Sing for a Cause this year. This is its second year, and last year's event raised $35,000 for local nonprofits. This year, the event takes place on August 11th at 6 p.m. at the Canyon in Agora Hills. We're really excited to have 12 new nonprofits this year, and some of the new ones competing include the City of Hope Thousand Oaks, Harbor House, Hospice of the Conejo, and the Center for Special Needs. Purchase a ticket and donate to your favorite charity today by visiting our website at www.charitykaraoke.org. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I'd like to call upon Vice Chair Allen now to facilitate the next part of our meeting.
Okay, now we'll have the commissioner reports, and the very first 6A will be myself doing, with the help of our assistant, some inspiring ways to live well, play well, and age well during the summer while we're on hiatus. Okay, first one, and these, I'll tell you at the end where all these are from. And you might want to get them daily too. The first one is inspiring ways to take up gardening, whether it's a little plant you have by your window, your kitchen window, or anything, but something living. And it's a vegetable, maybe a tomato plant, maybe a basil plant from Trader Joe's. Anyway, take up a little gardening since this is our growing season. The next one is to eat walnuts. Walnuts are a study that they just did is that a quarter to a third cup of walnuts per day lowered your bad cholesterol. And a lot of us do fight the bad cholesterol by as much as 10%. So if you haven't thought about it, Trader Joe's has it also, and I don't work for Trader Joe's, has a nice selection of walnuts and other nuts. I go there a lot. Okay. And the next one is practice being positive. Because the studies have shown that achieving a sharper mind and reducing stress begins with being compassionate with yourself. Once you forgive yourself, then it's really easy to let other things go. So practice being positive about yourself, where you are in life, and what you can do instead of focusing on what we can't do. The next one is a nice one, is then when working out, you don't always have to go to the gym and walk on the treadmill for 5 miles. Studies have shown that housework counts. So don't be afraid to dust something or sweep a broom on your patio. That counts too. Okay. And when you get finished with that, then you need to socialize for 6 to 7 hours a day for maximum happiness. Just being with friends and family and just hanging can really help your mood. I know the volunteer organization that I work with, the people often call to set up transportation requests, and they're just so happy to be out and about and getting people out of their house. So think about that during the summer. It's a perfect time to be out and socialize. And another good thing is keeping a journal. I know every year I used to give my dad the Sierra Club calendar, and he did this till he was about 92. And he would write down everything he did that day. But keep a journal because it keeps your mind sharp and clear. And now is a good time in the summer to start it. Then, one other thing is to walk 30 minutes 3 times a week. And you don't have to walk for 30 minutes at one time. They find that interval training really helps. So, if you can just walk for 5 minutes, several times a day, that will fulfill the need. It'll really work. And walk as brisk a pace as your body will let you. Okay. Then one of the last things is look forward to growing older. The ability to see life's later years as a time of continuing development. I want to read this one. And learning is linked with better health and well-being in older adults. Seek out positive representations of aging and remember that you're never too old to have a new role model. So all of these were taken from Mather, matherlifeways.com. I get their emails every day, and they send you a little email, and these are a collection of some of my favorites. So on the end of the PowerPoint is where you can find them and sign up for their email and send them to your friends too, so they can live more positively. Okay, so now that we're all healthy for the summer, we'll go on to 6B, which is social services by Commissioner Maria.
Thank you, Vice Chair Allen. I wanted to talk about one of the offerings from our Caneo Parks and Rec District, and it's called Concerts in the Park. And all of you are probably familiar with the Caneo Parks and Rec. They offer a myriad of services to our community. You can take all kinds of classes for a nominal fee. They have fabulous parks. The hiking trails have been wonderful. And they also support a lot of festivities like egg hunts and the spring arts and craft festivals. But the one I wanted to call your attention to, because as was mentioned earlier, we are going on hiatus for the summer, is the Summer Concerts in the Park. They offer free concerts all summer long. And all you have to do is bring a blanket and a lawn chair and a picnic if you want, and you listen to some fabulous music, and you want to come early to get some good seating. But as Commissioner Allen just mentioned, you need to socialize 6 to 7 hours a day. So what a better way than to just meet your family and friends for a concert in the park, and you'll be walking to get there, so it'll all work out well. The schedule for this summer, I don't know if any of you got a chance to catch, I think it was the long run, Experience the Eagles, that was last Memorial Day, but the remaining concerts, there's going to be a big one on July 4th. It's called Gold Rush Country. They do top 40 country music. Sunday, July 21st is Cougars Rock, which is, I thought, John Cougar Mellencamp, but it's actually all-female dance band, music from the 70s to today. And yes, I know. And on Sunday, August 11th, is Fortunate Son, which is a tribute to John Fogerty and Creedence Clearwater Revival. And then the last one is September 2nd, Monday, that's Labor Day, The Police Experience, which is a tribute to Sting and the Police. So I would encourage all of you to take advantage of it. All of the events are at the Caneo Community Park, which is at 1175 Hendricks Avenue, which is right off of Gainsborough, the corner of Dover and Hendricks. They're all free. They begin right at 5 o'clock. And for more information, you can always visit www.crpd.org/events. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Maria. Next will be Scams and Frauds by Commissioner Burt.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. What I'd like to begin by saying, and I'll probably end with the same statement, we all will be a target of a scam or a fraud, but you don't have to be a victim, and that's the important thing. And today I'm going to talk about charities and how to give and how to research the better charities. We all have that place in our heart, which when we see disaster or we see a homeless person, and we always want to give, and this will help to give with intelligence. And the website I'm going to refer you to is called charitynavigator.org, and they are actually the largest charity evaluator in the country. Can I get the next slide? Be an intelligent giver, and what that means is do some research in terms of the charities. They are, as I mentioned, the largest charity evaluator in America. They accept no advertising or donations from the organizations that they evaluate. They do get support from individuals, corporations, and foundations, but those are places that they don't support, financially. It is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation. Actually, they evaluate 9,000 plus charities, and what they do is they have a threefold understanding of what's important in terms of what a charity does, in terms of their financial health, accountability, and their transparency. They also have basic data on 1.8 million more charities, so there's so much out there to think about and so much to do in terms of being an intelligent giver. The programs that that Charity Navigator has been involved with, you can see their publications in Time Magazine, Forbes, Reader's Digest, Kiplinger's, Business Week. They've also had spots on to the Today Show, Good Morning America, CNBC, Fox News, among others, and hopefully sometime, maybe in the near future, maybe our own Acorn, they may be spotlighted in. You never know. What is intelligent charity giving? It's giving with confidence, and confidence comes from research. So there's so many different charities out there. What's the charity that you want to give to? You can research this. Charity Navigators has 4 different categories which they look at. It's called their star rating system. You're either excellent, 4 stars when you exceed the industry standards for charity. Good is 3, of course. Needs improvement is 2, and poor is 1. A charity fails to meet the standards, performs well below most charities in that particular cause. So if you go on their website, you'll see their rating system. You'll see a list of charities. Tips for giving so that you are protected from a lot of the scams that are out there. Reach with intention. Intention, again, is something that's passionate to you. Whether it's a disaster that you just saw of some fire, the Thomas Fire, or it's something that's going on now in the Midwest in terms of the flooding. Those are the kinds of things that really touch us, and so those are intentional, charitable things that we do. Generally give money. Why do we do that? Because the people on the ground who are actually navigating those disasters, they're the ones that know best what's necessary. So if you give money, they can go out and get the goods and services that the people will need. Give to established charities. Generally, we all know what they are. They're kind of buzzwords, but when you do research, you'll see that even some of the established charities you have to be careful with. Be smart about email solicitations. We all get emails. We all get messages on our phone. Be wary about those because they're generally not going to reach out to you unless you have reached out to them first. And those are the established ones. Sending money overseas. There's plenty of charities locally here, whether they be in the Caneo or in the United States. Think about that. If you have a particular passion about an overseas charity, of course, that's fine. Don't be an online victim in terms of these charities. Seek out the official website. As an example, if you're looking at Charity Navigator, they have a payment portal, and they will be able to you'll be able to donate through their particular portal, and that's 100% safe. Or the established charity that you select, they generally will also have a portal which you can donate your money to. And finally, as I started with, please remember you will be a target of a scam, whether it be a charity or something else, but you don't have to be a victim. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Commissioner Gitt on transportation.
Thank you, Loretta. Good afternoon, everybody. Francine, can we have the next slide, please? So I want to remind you about some of the transportation opportunities that are available to you here in the Conejo Valley. As we get older, transportation can become a major concern in Southern California. And we're fortunate here that we have a local bus system. We have dial rides. Dial rides are $3 each way. Urban Uber and Lyft and local taxis are available, and they can take you local places for $6 to $15 plus tips or more. And there are other options from the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging, BC AAA. Next slide, please. So I put together a little table here. The first one is the TO dial-a-ride, and as I said, that costs $3 a trip each way. So if you're going round trip, it'll cost you $6. But did you know you can get 20 free tickets per month from VC AAA for our dial-a-ride? And it's very easy. All you have to do is call VC AAA, and that will give you curb-to-curb service in TO. There's also from VC AAA an Elder Help MediRide system, which is basically a door-to-door service from Ventura County to locations within the county and as far as away as UCLA Westwood. And you can have 2 of these trips a month. All you need to do is sign up 5 days in advance, and they'll even take you in a wheelchair or a gurney. And then finally, from VC AAA, there's a mileage reimbursement program. So if you have somebody who will drive you, whether it be a relative or a friend, you can be reimbursed for 35 cents a mile up to 100 miles per month in the county or up to 300 miles per month out of the county. Again, that's a free service. All you have to do is sign up and submit a voucher each month. Next chart, please. So as I said, dial-a-rides are $3 each way, but free is better. And so, again, you can get 20 tickets from VC AAA. Next slide, please. The mileage reimbursement program is 35 cents a mile. And as I said, it's 100 miles per month if for in-county transportation. Could be any number of trips that add up to 100 miles, or out of the county, 300 miles. And there's a number there that you can call. 805, let's go back to that, 805-477-7300. And the requirements for these are that you just have to be 60 years of age or older. For the dial-a-ride tickets, you have to request them at the beginning of each month, and they'll be mailed to you. So it's easy to do over the phone. The MediRide trips, you need to request at least 5 days before the need date. And the condition there is that it's not available to residents of assisted living facilities, and seniors must not be receiving services from some other service, and you must not be employed. So this is a picture of the VC AAA Elder Care handout. There are some in the back of the room here. It's available on their website also, and the next page is the back of that. And that table, which you can't read, shows all of the different services that VC AAA supports throughout the county. So if you need to go to someplace besides Thousand Oaks, there are free tickets or reduced cost tickets available, and they're all listed there. So finally, if you want to sign up for Dial-a-Ride or make a reservation for Dial-a-Ride, you call the TO Transportation Facility at 805-375-5473. You call VC AAA at 805-477-7300 and just ask for information and assistance transportation, or you can go online at vcAAA.org. So these are wonderful programs that are available to you, and as you stop driving or slow down in your driving, you should be aware of what these programs are. Thank you.
Wow, just had some really, really good information. Thank you to all the commissioners for the work you did and bringing us this really, really good information. We're going on now to number 7 on our agenda, and it is my honor today to introduce our keynote speaker, my friend and colleague, Nancy Healy. You know, Vice Chair Allen talked about role models and how it's never too late in our lives to have role models. And Nancy, you've always been a role model to me, very honestly. You know, when people ask me what I aspire to do during my retirement, I often answer, I want to do just a fraction of the good work that Nancy Healy has done and continues to do over her years. You know, Nancy was our colleague on the Council on Aging for many years, where she served as the vice chair, and she also represented the city of Thousand Oaks on the advisory committee of the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. She was instrumental in the implementation of the Thousand Oaks Senior Adult Master Plan, especially in the area of volunteerism, which led to the development of the Conejo Valley Village, for which she continues to volunteer today. She also serves on the Global Commission and is an ombudsman in the Ventura County Ombudsman Program, a vital service for older adults and their families who require the services of assisted living environments. Nancy and two other women recently launched a blog, of all things, called We Are Proud Aging Women. And I subscribed just yesterday. And because she wrote a really wonderful essay about the value of senior centers. You have to read it and subscribe if you like that type of thing. So it is my pleasure today to introduce to you our keynote speaker and the 2018 Senior of the Year, Nancy Healy.
Woo! Tell me if this is right. Karen, thank you very much for your very kind remarks, and thank you for subscribing to our blog, agingwomenblog.com. Not just for women, but it's because we're calling it women because it was written by 3 women. One of my global commissioners, Marv, sent me an email saying, you have to name it Aging People. I said, no, because we're 3 aging women who are writing it. You write one, Marv, for Aging People, you know. So thank you very much for your kind words. I wrote this out. My 2 male friends here that I've worked with for a long time will probably say so I wouldn't go over all limits. But I wrote it out because I was afraid it would become a little emotional if I didn't write it out. Okay. Since Donna asked me to speak on what being selected Senior of the Year has meant to me, I've thought about it a lot and also thought about other things that seemed like honors and were important to me. I have come to the conclusion that this is the most special and meaningful honor I have ever received. So that it does not sound pathetic, like I've never received any honors before, I actually have. The ones that I thought about before, the first time I really felt it was an honor was I was selected to be junior and senior class presidents in college. It was, just as an aside, an all-women's college in the South in the 60s. That probably was a factor. It probably really was. Anyway, the second time that I felt really honored was when I realized that I was one of over 100 people who applied to be an American Airlines flight attendant in 1963. I was the only person chosen out of 106, I think, people who came, which was a huge honor. That was the days when being a flight attendant was really a fun, exciting job. Not so much now. The third time was when I was chosen, another dubious honor here, when I was chosen to be PTA president of my kids' elementary school. Later years made me think that was not quite so much of an honor. But if you want to get great management training, run a PTA at a school where everybody's kid is the smartest kid in the school. So it's difficult. Okay. These 3 things have remained important to me throughout the years, but being honored as Senior of the Year has far surpassed them. I was very happy when my grandchildren were impressed and one asked if I was the senior citizen of the United States. One other one thought that I should have gotten a tiara and a sash because this is certainly more important than just a beauty contest, So that's a suggestion for the future. Okay. Senior of the Year is not really about me or about the earlier seniors of the year that came before me or any of our wonderful nominees. It honors each of the more than 1,200 senior volunteers who spend their time and energy to support more than 80 nonprofits, schools, and community organizations in our wonderful city. Miss Julie Spivak here is a big part of getting these volunteers out there. So just so you know. Our seniors donate approximately 275,000 hours each year. I bet most of them would agree that volunteering has contributed as much or more to them as it has always to this community. Thank you does not seem sufficient for what this honor has meant to me. I will always appreciate it and always remember the wonderful feelings I have gained from volunteering in my own senior community. Thank you. I'm going to now introduce this year's wonderful nominees for Senior of the Year. Stacia Simrall, I volunteered with you. I'm not going to do that with everybody, but I did, so go ahead.
I'm Stacia Simrall, a retired school teacher. And shortly before I retired, I decided to start looking into volunteering because after spending 37 years with elementary age children, I wanted to work with adults. And so I came in as one of the first ushers in the first group at the Civic Arts Plaza, and I was able to do that while I was still teaching. Then I figured as soon as I retired, there would be more involvement. Well, it became caregiving for 10 years for my mother and then my husband. So since I couldn't be out and about, I did home volunteering, making dozens and dozens of blankets crocheted and knitted for first the Linus Blanket Project and then Los Robles Preemie Unit and also Casa Pacifica Teenagers. After 10 years, my caregiving responsibilities were past me, so now opportunities just kind of fell at my feet. I didn't even have to go looking as to what to do. I immediately got involved at the Stagecoach Inn Museum, and I have now been there about 10 years. My fingers in almost everything there. I am a docent. I'm also docent chair for the second time around, second 2-year term. I am head of special group tours, which are by appointment for groups during off hours. I work on the wedding crew. I do research. I have written many scripts and monologues for museum theater. I have acted in many of the museum theater productions, and to many of my friends, not only at the museum, but also in the community, I also answer to Donna, because I am the current resident Donna Fargo of Thousand Oaks. In case you don't know who she is, she was also noted for her volunteerism until she passed away in 1986. Then I've also just finished the Topanga Banjo and Fiddle Festival. We were involved in that, and I was head of our booth there. I've also been head of our booth at the October Street Fair, and a few other things at the museum, including the Board of Trustees. As kind of a break from those heavy-duty assignments, I am also a special exhibit volunteer at the Reagan Library. And this has been great because it's very stimulating, even though looks like the attendants only stand around guarding the exhibits. But it introduces you to so many unique subjects that I find myself, again, doing lots of research, lots of reading. So during the last couple of years, I was known as my shift's expert on the Titanic and on Mongolia. And so right now we're into Leonardo da Vinci. And I think that keeps me pretty busy, practically a total of full-time employment, but as a volunteer.
Thank you, Stacia. Our next nominee is Cynthia Bell.
You're probably wondering why I brought this with me. Well, Jack Benny, who was a great comedian in the 40s and 50s, said, if you feel uncomfortable talking in public, hang on to something. So I am hanging on to something at this point. When I was first nominated for this, it was a shock because I feel I have time to give. I'm there and that, but this is a reward in itself, just being nominated, whether you win or lose. This is important. My volunteering started when my two daughters were in grade school. I was part of the PTA. I was their room mother. I was their scout leader for all 4 levels that they went through. I was also a single working mom at this time. But I was blessed to have bosses that knew that this was important in my life, to let me be with my children's activities also. I was also a mother who drove them whenever we had a field trip or something like that. I did this on through high school because they were overachievers. I was booster mom, I was band mother, and I baked dozens and dozens of chocolate chip cookies when they volunteered mom to bake something. So it was a blessing in that. First one I really got into was teaching first aid for the American Red Cross in 1974. Now this, if you've ever had first aid, this is back to the little old green book. It was long before electronics. And many of my first classes had ambulance drivers and or very new firemen. They had to take the class before they could get a job. Well, I did that for about 25 years. I got my PIN. And in the meantime, I was also into a national women's organization called American Business Women's Association, was elected president of our chapter, and was also their Woman of the Year for 1980, which was a big honor for me. All I'm doing is helping. I don't look for the end result lots of times. 1999, I relocated to Indiana to be grandma because my older daughter was now a working mother herself. I got very involved in the church there as teaching scouts again, and also doing the PTA and all those kind of things that grandmas now do because mom's too busy. The one thing there, though, that was really outstanding in my life was I joined the missionary group, which was a volunteer group, and every year the church would fly us to Upper Canada in Manitoba to teach Sunday school for about 2 to 3 weeks. And it was all volunteers, all out of the church. And I was blessed to even lead this group one time as we went up. Then I came back to California in early 2004 as my older daughter had passed away, and picked up where I'd left off, got back into different things, the church groups. Church groups keep you busy. There's every kind of volunteer position you can do in a church, believe me. But the local hospital had just built a new wing that had the American Cancer Society. So I was the first one to volunteer. I either helped in the reception area, or I also helped in the treatment area, depending on where they needed me on the morning I was there. Then I found Relay of Life, got involved with that. I'm one of those that if they need a volunteer, whether it's a school or something, my hand's the first one that goes up, because there's just me and the cat. And as long as she has a full bowl of food and a clean kitty box, she could care less where mom is, at this time. Well, in November of 2010, I moved to Thousand Oaks to be near my youngest daughter and her family. Well, first thing I got into was Relay for Life again, and we headed up the survivors tent for about 3 years, my daughter and I. Well, I had time on my hands, so I went over to the senior center. And he's right. If you say you can't find anything to do, you have not read that list of availability for any and all activities. The only thing I haven't found yet is beginning bridge. So when they start a class, I want to get into that one. But they guided me into the Reagan Library, and I'm blessed to be with Stasha at the Stagecoach Inn Museum. I've been doing that for 8 years, and I've been accused of living at the Reagan Library because of all the hours I've put in. But it's a blessing. You meet people from different areas, you people from different countries. You just have a wonderful time. And like Stasha said, you learn too. Each exhibit we have, you get to learn something new in history. I was real proud of being a scout leader for all those years, because that also opened the opportunity while I was in Orange County to be part of the Girl Scout Council. I headed up the calendar sales one year, and my older daughter made first class that year, so we were real happy. Right now, along with being with the library and that and Relay for Rice, I finished training for hospice. I haven't been assigned yet, but I did finish my training and got to sit with the Christmas trees for the stars and that was a blessing. Just people came by and just donated. They didn't even put up a star. They just donated for the cause. Now you're probably wondering what this is. I have a knitter. I am a knitter, and at the senior center, I've gotten into the busy bees, and I make these blankets that go to the Veterans Hospital for the veterans who are in the wheelchairs. And last year, when we totaled it up, I had done 42 blankets. So I just call that. Well, at night, when there's nothing to do, pick up the knitting needles and go for it. But there's two things in life that I feel are really very near and dear to my heart. They weren't volunteer, but I still feel that both my daughters achieved college degrees, and I paid off their student loans. And as of March 1959, I am a 60-year, yes, 60 survivor of malignant melanoma. And I would like to thank the council and everybody else just for the nomination. Just being nominated is an honor in itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cynthia. Our next nominee is Ricky Mickelson.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you all on the council and staff that supports the council for what you do for seniors in our community, in particular this nomination. And I also thank my colleagues at Community Conscience who nominated me for this honor. I remember back when I was in college, and there was some talk about when you became a senior, we were going to have this big dilemma about what we were going to be able to do with our time, that we would have so much time that we'd probably be trying to figure out what we would do with it. Well, I can tell by the looks on your faces, and I can tell by my own experience, we didn't have any trouble at all. And it starts with the volunteering, and I'm very proud to have been a part of that. We were asked to talk a little bit about how we feel about volunteering and the benefits. And so I kind of categorized it into 4 different areas. A great benefit is that you feel that you're working towards the betterment of the community, whether it's the local community or beyond that. And there's a great deal of satisfaction from that. A second one is the people that you meet who become your friends and your colleagues, who share their experience, their expertise, their skills. That's a wonderful bonus. A third bonus is one I believe in, but I can't really prove, and it has to do with an enhancement of the quality of life in terms of our physical and mental health. There's a whole lot of research out there that tells us that people who volunteer have better lifestyles, they have lower blood pressure, they have longer lifespans. I can't prove that for me, but I believe it's true. And then the fourth thing, which I know is true, is that I feel that I live a fulfilled, happy, I contribute to society in a way that means so very, very much to me, and I know means so very, very much to all the people who are sitting in this room. So I thank you for this recognition, and I'm honored to be a part of such an incredibly talented. I'm so impressed with our 2 speakers who have spoken so far, and I don't envy you with your choice at all. Of all the titles that I've had, whether it's in my career or my volunteer work, I think the title at this point in my life that I'm most proud of is Ricky Mickelson Volunteer. Because in essence, what that means is that everything that I give, I get back many, many times more. So thank you for this honor. Thank you so very much for recognizing all of these outstanding people. We really sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. The next nominee is Patricia Jones, who I happened to work with at the Love Run just this past Sunday. So, Patricia.
Thank you, honorable commissioners, and the Nancy Healy and the Senior of the Year Committee for the nomination. I'd like to congratulate also all of my fellow nominees and say bravo to all of you for everything you do. I've put my remarks in the form of a poem because that's the best way for me to express myself.
I wrote out this thing and I started reading it and I go, oh God, it just sounds terrible. I gotta do something different. So I wrote a poem. So here goes. I've volunteered my time most of my life. It's made me a better person and helped reduce community strife. I've spent hours serving on boards for the arts, Los Robles Hospital, Rotary, and Senior Concerns. It gives me purpose and meaning. I seek nothing in return. I've done volunteer caregiving for seniors and people with special needs. The joy on their faces fills my heart and sets them free. I've helped the poor, the lonely, the hungry, and neglected with programs and services to ensure they are protected. I've helped raise funds for innocent, abused children by educating others through a speakers bureau about perpetrators and villains. I'm a CERT team member, volunteer certified emergency responder, ready for any disaster, CPR, or hospital transfer. I saved a woman from bleeding to death. I'm so grateful she survived and continued her breath. I stood by her side by side, and so grateful she didn't die. Oh. Sorry. I've raised thousands of dollars for seniors' concerns programs and their Meals on Wheels. It's rewarding to organize fundraisers and send out appeals. Helping others is better than any glass of wine, piece of chocolate, or drug I know. So get out there and help. It'll make you glow. The greatest blessing in volunteering are the people you meet. I met my husband while volunteering. Isn't that neat and so sweet? Volunteering is helping others. That's why I believe we are on earth. The intrinsic value you get back is more than money is worth. Volunteering increases your self-confidence, protects your mental and physical health. It helps you learn new skills, reduce stress, find friends. It's better than wealth. The secret to living is giving. I want to make that clear. And make a community where everyone is cared for and does not walk or live in fear. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Our next nominee is Gail Field.
Hello, and thank you so much for having this meeting. I am so jazzed by hearing what everyone else said about how important volunteering is, and I think it's 100% true. So I also appreciate the fact that you even have such a thing. You even have such a title to celebrate people who volunteer. So that brings it to the attention of people. And as I look through this room, I think almost everybody is a volunteer. So there's a whole, like Jeff Burt was mentioning, this is a heart situation. This is a loving situation. And to be in this room with the love is what you also get by volunteering, because you do it out of your own desire and your own health. So I'll just say a little bit about my background. I used to live in Santa Monica. I've lived in Thousand Oaks since 1985, whenever that was. And when I was in Santa Monica, I was the president of American Association of University Branch, and then I became the California Status of Women Chair for all of California for women's issues, and in AUW. And then finally, because of that participation, the Attorney General had a task force. The Attorney General of California had a task force on women's rights, and I was a part of that. And we submitted some laws having to do with the credit in women's own name, because you may recall that back in the 70s, women could not get credit in their own names. They had to do it in their husband's name. So that's some of the things I did in the past. And then I became manager of human resources at WellPoint Anthem. And I love that job because it was about people and having people get along with their bosses, firing people and having them leave happy. Some of that was a challenge, but I've always loved being with people. So when I retired, I thought, well, what can I do with my time? And it was clear that it had to do with people. It had to do with something with people. And so I'm happy to say that I am an avid volunteer for several cases, but one is caregivers, volunteers assisting the elderly and it's housed in Ventura, but it has Ventura County as our place of providing volunteers to help for free do caregiving, like neighborly deeds, like taking people to the doctor's appointments, like providing, doing household chores, cleaning the top of the refrigerator, doing the gardening. But this is something that we do every day, all the time, and we have about 500 volunteers and 500 seniors that we take care of, and it's an honor to be able to give in a way that really, really helps people at no cost to them. So I think it's a wonderful organization, and I'm glad to be doing that. Another thing I do just for fun is I'm a co-organizer of the Conejo Valley Writers Group that meets every second Saturday in the Global Center. And we have a lot of fun. We have speakers, and we encourage each other to write. And a lot of the writing also comes from love, because you write about what you love to talk about and love to experience in your life. So I want to thank the council and acknowledge everyone else in this room, especially my co-nominees, for all that they do and all that you do. It's a deep honor, and I thank you so much. Thank you.
One of our nominees is not here today, Chuck Huffer. He will be at the dinner, however. I just want to say this isn't scripted. I am so moved by listening to what everybody did and the different ways they had of expressing it. I know I mentioned my new blog a lot, but I'm going to go right home. I really am. I am so moved by seeing the people who just give of themselves, not for any financial gain or anything, just for what it does for them in the community. I am going to go home and I will have a new blog post for this. So thank you guys for enlightening me to so many new things. So thank you. Thank you all. And thank you again for this honor. It was really good.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you to all the nominees. Once again, the Senior of the Year Award Banquet will be next Thursday, June 13th, 5:30 at the Global Center. Tickets are $6, available at the front desk. Don't wait until that day, because they will sell out. So please get your tickets in advance. And this is our last televised meeting for this program year. The next one is scheduled for Wednesday, September 11th, from 1 to 2:30. And it will be televised. And I just want to take a moment to thank each of the commissioners for the work that you've done all year to prepare your reports. And, things don't happen by themselves. They take time and they take research. And everyone here has just been really a joy to work with. And once again, nothing happens without our community liaison, Francine Spriegel. So thank you very much, Francine. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. And Commissioner comments. I apologize. Number 8. Let's begin at this end.
Yes, I have a couple questions for Nancy, if you could address them. My fellow commissioner over at the Global, she's been there for 1 year, and she's done outstanding work there. 2 years? Oh my God! Time moves fast when you're having fun, right? Anyway, you have a blog for women, aging women. You. Yeah, point of order. The two questions were, where's the beef? Where's the men? Tony and I, Commissioner Gitt and I, have decided to open a blog for aging men. Could you help us with that? Good. Okay, good. And more seriously, I was going to ask you, what do you think with this group of people?
Oh,
And I
okay.
listened here.
I'm sorry. This is a point of order. So during commissioner comments, we are just making comments.
Oh,
we're
I'm
not
sorry.
interacting.
I'm sorry.
the speaker.
I apologize. That's it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Gibb. Okay. Yes, go ahead. Commissioner Belding.
I just want to say it's been wonderful serving on the council. This is my first year, and I've enjoyed the outreach directorship very, very much. And I want everyone to have a wonderful summer, so we won't see you till September.
Thank you. And Vice Chair Allen.
I just wanted again to say have a happy summer and enjoy your other senior volunteers.
Yes, Commissioner Burt.
What a wonderful group of ladies that I heard today. I mean, you really touched my heart. And with all of the things that you've done, how well you've presented yourselves, and it's just a tribute to each and every one of you. And of course, I'm not forgetting Chuck, who's also part of this, but I didn't have a chance to hear him speak. But my God, you ladies are incredible. So thank you. You got my...
Thank you, Commissioner Maria.
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that we have 2 council members that'll be ending their council service this month. And I would like to thank Chair Gorbach and Vice Chair Allen for their 6 years of dedicated service to the council and to the community. A few years ago, when I was a fledgling council member, they took me under their wing. They let me join their committee for Senior of the Year, and I've been doing it ever since, and I just love it. I know you will be leaving the council, but I know you'll still be contributing to our community. We look forward to your next adventures, and on behalf of all of us, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Allen.
Well, thank you. I found it very informative about the speakers today regarding volunteering. And if there's a possibility in the future to put on the agenda of one of these meetings, someone to speak to our audience in regards to those who haven't been volunteers all their lives on how to take that first step. And if there's any mentoring, just that step of encouragement or information where people can find opportunities to volunteer that fit their giftings and their abilities. But great presentation today, everybody.
Thank you very much. And thank you, everyone. With that, I will adjourn the meeting.